Vitis it's native to temperate and subtropical climates of the northern hemisphere. Within Vitis, there's about 60 different species, some of which, like I said, are from North America, which we mostly use for rootstocks. But we also use them to make hybrid grapevines for grape breeding, which happens a lot at Cornell because a lot of the East Coast in the Midwest of the United States uses hybrids for some of their production. Not all of it. I think in New York, about 40% of the total production of wine here is from hybrid grapes. Most of it's still from vinifera because those are kind of brand name varieties, brand name cultivars. But we're using the hybrids more as like an insurance policy against the harsh winters and harsh in-season climate because of all the heavy rainfall in season. So we need varieties here that can hold up to the fungal disease pressure. Vitis vinifera is the most widely planted species within Vitis. So vinifera accounts for something like 90% of the total grape production of the world. All right, so the American species. Yes, that is Lincoln. That is a bear with a monocle and a top hat riding Lincoln, and Lincoln has laser eyes. So there are 34 different American species. None of them have perfect flowers. What is a perfect flower? A perfect flower is a flower that can pollinize itself. You don't need a male and a female plant. It can just do it all at once, which is really what we're growing on farm, right? So Vitis vinifera pollinizes itself, and anything that we are growing, like these hybrids and all this, no one wants to mess around with having a male and a female plant, and then you can have pollination problems and all this. Do it all in one plant, okay? But the native varieties of the U.S. don't do this. They need male and female plants to fertilize. So let's start with Vitis labrusca. It's native to the eastern United States. It's actually native to, I believe, to the Northeast, in fact. It's very cold tolerant, resistant to diseases. It has this really interesting foxy aroma, which smells like like a gland, like a musk kind of pheromone gland of a fox, which is a little gross. And it's commonly used for juices and jam. So Welch's grape juice, if y'all are familiar, that's what's in. So it's actually, what's in Welch's grape juice is Concord, which is what we consider a labruscana. So labrusca isn't self-fertile, can't fertilize itself. But labruscanas can fertilize themselves. So Concord does actually fertilize itself. So it's not a true Vitis labrusca, it's a labruscana, right? And that's because probably there's a little bit of like Vitis vinifera within the Concord genome. So Vitis labruscana, it's a hybridized version of the labrusca with other things like Vitis vinifera. They can self-fertile, but they have the same kind of like labrusca-like aromas, those foxy, weird types of aromas. So these are labruscanas, Concord, Niagara, or Catawba. If you're from the Northeast, you may be familiar with this wine here, Red Cat, which is a large production kind of value wine made by a company called Hazlitt, which is a very large, it's a very large brand. I can't remember exactly how much they do, but I believe it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 500,000 cases of this gets sold almost entirely in New York State. But it's a really regional thing, like Duplin, Scuppernong. It's amazing how much wine they move, but it's made, for a lot of this is Catawba. I don't know if all of it's Catawba, but a lot of it is Catawba. So it has this kind of interesting kind of Welch's grape juice type aroma. So these grapey aromas come from a couple things. So this is kind of the main aroma of like a grape flavor. So when you're like if you have like a Jolly Rancher or something, this would be like the grape Jolly Rancher impact aroma. And then this methyl anthranilate is the foxy, musky aroma. The story goes, so there was a researcher here, I think he's still at Cornell in the food science department, Terry Acree. The story is that he was in a research lab in Japan. He was walking down the hallway and he smelled this aroma, and he was like, that smells like that weird, musky, fox's den aroma that we get from Concord. And he walked in the lab and asked them what they were working on. And it turned out they were extracting glands from some sort of muskrat or something, some sort of weasel. Um, and they're extracting these glands and then doing some sort of GCMS or something on it and working on that chemical compound. And then he came back to Cornell and he was like, I reckon methylantranolate is that impact aroma. That's the musky thing that you find in Concord. So he ran some Concord through the GCMS looking for methylantranolate. And then sure enough, that was indeed the major impact odor for, major impact compound for that odor that causes the musky aroma. So that's kind of cool. All right, so another pull everywhere for you. Concord is an important juice grape. Which of these most accurately describes Concord? Is it Vitis labrusca, Vitis labruscana, Vitis rupestris, Vitis riparia, or none of the above? Cool, you guys are on fire. This is amazing. You guys are actually paying attention and not on Facebook or something. That's incredible. This is a first. Cool. Yeah. So it's labruscana, right? So it's truly not called like Vitis labruscana. It's really just a labruscana, and which means it's mostly labrusca with something else in it, which is probably Vitis vinifera to make itself fertile. Okay.